Hey, we're on Love FM and we're on YouTube tonight. Well, this won't probably go out till tomorrow, but we're streaming live right now on Love FM. I wanted to tell you some news stories and news updates. Michael DeSilvas for May the 5th, 2018 for Saturday morning or afternoon whenever this hits the airwaves. You can hear it now on FM. But anyway, the residents are under evacuation orders in some islands in Hawaii. They've had over 350 earthquakes today alone, which usually is more than California had. So, there, now you can see my face instead of seeing a shadow. Now, we're not trying to do a shadow always knows kind of thing. No, you can see my face there better now. I guess the camera warmed up. But now you can see my face. But the thing is, we're not doing none of those videos where you got to hide your identity or anything, and altering your voice, But the thing is, I wanted to say, but really, the volcano, it's been a whole lot of earthquakes. About 350 earthquakes have been reported on the seismographs today. And it's still going. It's still going and blowing. And, usually California had more earthquakes than Hawaii, but Hawaii seems to be having a lot more now. And ever since EL went there and Christy went there, after they came home, it's really got it rocking and rolling. So maybe they had something to do with it. No, I'm just kidding, EL and Christy. They're jumping up and down on the bed and got it all going. Got it going real bad, So now the earthquakes are just the rocking and the rolling, steaming and the rolling. Yeah. But anyway, it's no laughing matter, though. Seriously, they didn't have nothing to do with it. But it's no laughing matter because this is really going on in California. And it's really bad to see this is happening because the National Guard had to be called in, and the Army and all's there too, directing this cooperative evacuation effort on some of the islands where the risk is really high and where experts feel that there may be the big one could happen anytime because of all these eruptions that are happening. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. Let's hope it doesn't. And I hope it doesn't, truthfully, because I think sometimes the earth can shift and plates can move, and when there's tension, there's going to be earthquakes. There's going to be volcanic activity. Because that's what's underneath our feet. We got to remember that earthquakes are a byproduct of a volcano. And there's a chain of volcanoes, just like there's a chain of fault lines, as you know, from taking 5th grade science class, or maybe 6th grade. And there's a network of platelets and fault lines, and that's how this happens, folks. So what I'm trying to say is, we have to really be in prayer for the citizens of Hawaii. Because we don't know, because they may not be out of the woods. There could be a big one, and they could be right. And yes, that is a Christmas tree in the background, guys. Yeah, I still have it up. I'm thinking about selling this tree, actually. Yeah, I'm thinking about selling that tree. If anybody wants to buy it, there's nothing wrong with it. Just the lights on it don't work. You can put lights on it. What I did is I strung lights up on it. I bought a set. So if you want to buy this for like $75, it's a 9-foot tall tree. There's nothing wrong with it. It just needs a home to go to. Just for, if you could buy it from me for $75. Because usually a tree like this, if the lights worked on it, you get a brand new tree like this for $500. So, it's used. I've had it for a few years. But this is right here. I want to sell it for $75 because it's been used. So that's about all I could get for it. Because the lights would work if you replaced the bulbs that burned out. But I'm not going to take time to pop them out and find out where they burned out because there's so many. They've got white lights on here and they're really pretty. But you can replace those, bad boys, and you'll have a whole working tree again. It just needs a home. And if you don't want to do that, you can do like I did. Just put lights on here. I have multicolored lights that blink that go around this tree. It's like 350 is all you need to buy. It's one big strand of them. 350, that's what I got for this tree. And it takes about 300 or 350. Depends on how many you want to put in there to fill it in. But I used about 300, I think. I remember if that's correct or not. But if you want to buy this tree, $75. You know where I live, people in the church, you want to buy it? I'm selling this tree. There's nothing wrong with it. It just needs a home. Like I said, it's nothing wrong with it. It's good. It's got, I've had it for probably about 6 years. And my mom had it for 4 years, so $75 I think is a good price for it. Because it is in good condition in spite of it being that old. But you probably get another 10 years out of it. Probably, maybe 12 years. if you take care of it. But at any rate, in other news, they are doing that simulation the 14th through the 17th of this month, May. It's called Project Operation Dark Sky in Wisconsin. They're doing it there, and they're going to be going door to door, checking if people have the proper food and proper precautions if the power does indeed go out for a long period of time. This is a simulation, but when the government does drills like this, you know, like I said on other videos, it's no laughing matter that they're going to definitely be, there's definitely gearing up for something, because, like I said, you know, we know, and intelligence knows, this is public knowledge, because they announced this in other news, New York Times and all, says they got satellites that are armed with heads from North Korea. They swing over our country. They claim it's a communication satellite, but they believe it's also a rogue satellite. There's two of them they believe they're armed with EMP devices, and all they have to do is detonate those suckers right over our country, and it could knock everything out in Canada, in America, and even in Mexico. So it'll roll everybody back to the 1800s, because everything you got is computer-based, and it would just fry everything you have. Unless you have a Faraday cage, you know, like we were talking about, that protects or shields you from EMP strikes when it comes to electronics, like your cell phone and all. You could put it in one of those things, and it would actually keep it safe from electrical impulses. So the electrical impulses fry everything, and the EMP would definitely do that. So that's something to think about, folks. And I don't know, but you know, it's just something you need to be prepared for. You might want to get solar panels put on your house so you can keep your food cold, and you can keep your lights on, have some lights at work, and be able to charge your computers and stuff, you know, after the blast. Because the solar stuff, well, you know, you can get the solar stuff, but, you know, if it's not properly shielded, it's going to be fried too, because it has a circuit board. Yeah, so you would still probably be in the dark unless you shield that stuff properly, which you would have to pay, because they have shielding that you can use to shield it even with it being plugged in and everything to the grid. So it would still be safe and grounded from an EMP pulse. So, or any, you know, from the sun, or if it's from man-made device. Because what I understand is that we had one solar corona strike that was so bad that it caused an effect on the Earth, knocked everything out for a while. Back in the early 19 or late 1800s, I do believe, it was a real bad strike that hit the Earth, and it destroyed a lot of stuff back then. And now that everything's so digital and computerized now, you know, it's going to do far more damage. And the bad thing is that most of our transformers are imported from Japan or Taiwan. They're not even made in America. So that, you know, if they still have all the stuff to make them, you know, I don't know what they're doing for that. I hope Japan has thought of a plan. I hope, and somebody's thinking, because we're going to need transformers here, just like everywhere else if it gets blown worldwide. Because if something happens space-wise, it may not have nothing to do with someone doing it per se. But, you know, they're talking about a possible attack on this country between now and August, and that's a truth statement. The source that it comes from is from the Pentagon, and it comes from a couple high-up people, generals in the intelligence community. It's saying an attack on our water and power infrastructure and banking system could happen sometime this summer. And this is from a credible source, and this don't mean to scare you, but you need to start making a plan. I've always said this on this channel. You must have a plan to have for you and your family. You have a kit like we talked about in these videos. Have a kit and have all this stuff ready. This is no joke, so don't be smoking and thinking this is a joke and drinking and thinking that ain't going to happen, because if you're thinking that, you're deluding yourself. Because this is a real credible threat, and when I say something, this is real. It's not nothing to make you scared or fear or anything. It's real. You need to start planning, and planning now. This is really real. About as real as I'm standing here on this camera is how credible this is. And it's, I mean, when you hear stuff coming from the government, per se, and people from top officials talking about this, you better start making a plan. And that's what they're doing. So you can bet your tootie something's going to happen this summer or in the fall. And I don't want to scare you, but that's what they're saying on their intel. And then, you know, there's all these new viruses and malware coming out, ransomware. Oh, these things are getting more and more sophisticated every day. And you got to wonder these attacks that they're doing. These simulations, these internal strikes. There's people and agencies that actually sit around thinking up and making up new virusware, and then somehow it leaks out on the web, on the regular internet. Now, how does that happen? I have no idea. But somebody put it out there, or someone stole it off of the government's computer, or they have bad people that make these things too. And they put it out there, and then people use it against people to hack your system or to disable your system or whatever. And it's wrong. Because, we're here to stop people from doing this. So we shouldn't use stuff against good people who are trying to do the same thing that these agencies are supposed to be doing and protecting. Not people that are engineering internal attacks to engineer not a simulation, but it's real attacks that are internal in our country. We have the data that shows where government agencies were doing this to other servers in our country now. We have cyber forces. They don't talk about it, but we do. And that's what they're supposed to do, not attack internally. They're supposed to stop the external threats, not be simulating real attacks in our country on our servers, mind you, and on our infrastructure. I mean, some people could argue and say that's a drill, or is it a drill? Oh, did you hear today that Goldman, not Goldman Sachs, but Goldman Banks were just caught, one of the executives was caught with their pants down, not literally, but with their pants down. They got caught by manipulating the market. Did you hear about that? They got busted, a new hole in their rear end. Yeah, they got caught today manipulating the markets. So I'm sure there's going to be somebody doing some jail time, and they'll probably get off with paying a fine, which probably won't be justice or fitting for the crime that they've done, because it's probably not the only time that Goldman has done this. It's one bank. Then you would see some other banks that are closing shops. Remember what we said? When they start closing shops, like some banks are starting to do in this country, something bad is coming and big. That's why they're starting to do that. It's the early precursors of it. That's a warning sign. That's one of the bells going off. So, is the economy going to collapse this year because the government says so, or people in the government? I don't know. I would hope not, but it's going to happen in the future. It's definitely going to happen as a certainty. But when, I don't know. But you need to have a plan. Every one of you out here need to have a plan. You need to stop sitting on your butt and watching TV and thinking it's just that somebody's going to take care of it or stop it, because you might be the person that has to stop it. All right? So don't be thinking that someone's going to come and save the day, or thinking that America's just going to correct itself like some of you think, because America's too far gone to be corrected fully. It's going to take a revolution to do that. It's going to take a war to do that, really. And I don't know. I hope it doesn't happen, but like I said, we have foreign occupiers among us, like I've said before. These people have taken our government over. They've taken over everything. I mean, the Chinese owns just about almost every movie studio, music studio in this country. They own a lot of the businesses in our country. You can say the Chinese own or Japanese own most of the things in America. They're American, but they've been bought out. They've been sold out. You got Russia over here cutting down trees to do Project Green. I reported on that last week. So did Dabu 7 and Alex Jones and everything. I mean, why do you need to do Project Green to get rid of coal? That's so stupid, because you can't get a lot of energy from compost. Everybody knows that. Coal is the best thing to use, or hydrogen, to make electricity. And yeah, there are ways that they have made coal cleaner. So it should be able to fit within the environmental codes today, because they have new filter systems where they can remove those things before they go out in the air. And most things that come out of the tops of these stacks of plants these power plants is not harmful. It's just steam, because it really is. It's just steam. You could breathe it in, and it wouldn't give you radiation or cancer. It's totally safe. At least that's what they claim. That's what they say, because they got a state-of-the-art system that takes out all the radiation and everything before it goes back in the air. And they have a certain system, a filter system, way it's set up. They talk about it. They showed it on TV. And they talk about the new design of how these things are made now. So the only thing that goes out of these plants is just steam. Now, I don't know whatever other people think that's coming out of there. But that's all it is just steam that's coming out of there. That's it. And, the radiation is not in there. So I don't know why everybody's all excited about that. Oh, and today, Richmond, the same people, the group of people that came to Charlottesville last year and caused all that ruckus is coming here to Richmond. Now, I want to let you know from the Richmond Police Department, because they passed this on to me. They said they have all the resources in the area to take care of these people as they get out of line. But there's no permits that have been approved for this for these groups that are coming to our statues, General Lee and things. They're going to be coming here to have a rally this weekend. And all it took was 12 people, and they did all that damage. You remember in Charlottesville last year. So, like I said they have plenty of resources and all to take care of this so it won't get out of hand like it did in Charlottesville. So if they do decide to do something like that, so y'all don't have to worry as much. But, like I said, I don't know why these two groups are coming here. The Antifa group, which caused a lot of problems and violence and arguments with people, and then the other environmental group for the statues. Because all they did was cause a lot of violence and a lot of damage in Charlottesville. So, they're ready. The cops said they're ready in Richmond and the surrounding areas. They're ready. So if anything happens, they have more than enough to take care of these people, to stop them in their tracks. So that's basically what the cops said. So be advised of that when you go to Richmond tomorrow, because they're coming this weekend. So that's something to keep in mind when you're going traveling. If you have to do business in Richmond, be aware of that rally going downtown surrounding the statues in Richmond. Okay, that's this weekend. I think it's tomorrow. So be aware of that, or it's next weekend. But it's one of these. It's either this weekend or next weekend. But I think it is really tomorrow. That's what my notes say. All right. Anyway, this is Michael DeSilvis, and the news update for May the 5th, Saturday morning edition, 2018. See you, everyone. Love you. Peace. Over and out.